The United States is deeply concerned by the Burmese military's detention of civilian government leaders, including State Councilor Aung San Suu Kyi and civil society leaders. After a review of all the facts, we have assessed that the Burmese military's actions on February 1st, having deposed the duly elected head of government, constituted a military coup d'etat. The United States will continue to work closely with our partners throughout the region and the world to support respect for democracy and the rule of law in Burma, as well as to promote accountability for those responsible for overturning Burma's democratic transition.
To your first briefing, you say you welcome the let's see how long that lasts.
Forward. When it comes to Burma, look, I don't think the military takeover, the military coup, is in the interest. It's certainly not in our interest. It's certainly not in the interest of our like-minded partners. I think you will also find that it's not in the interest of the Chinese. So our first concern, of course, is the restoration of civilian leadership in Burma. Our concern, consistent with that, is ensuring that as we undertake this review, now that we have determined that a coup has taken place on February 1st, the civilian-led government has been deposed by the military, our first concern as we do that review will be to ensure that of the $135 million we contribute annually to the people of Burma, that we don't do anything that would affect the long-suffering people of Burma, including the Rohingya.
Very briefly with Burma, I'm wondering if
when it comes to additional sanctions against the Burmese military, as President Biden has said, the United States will take action against those responsible, including through a careful review of our current sanctions posture. So it's something we're closely reviewing. When it comes to Russia, we are undertaking, the President has directed his DNI to undertake this review precisely so that we can have a holistic picture of what the Russians have been up to in recent years, so that we can ensure that our policy options, which would include sanctions but not necessarily be the extent of it, are calibrated appropriately.
Clear about the focus on like-minded allies and partners as a priority in cases like Burma.
We are going to look very carefully at the deteriorating human rights situation in Russia, what has happened with Mr. Navalny specifically, what has happened with the mass detentions of those who have bravely taken to the streets in the aftermath of Mr. Navalny's arrest. And of course, all of that we will account for in determining an appropriate policy course. Yes.
You spoke. All of that entire review has to be done before the Biden administration does anything on Navalny's sentencing today?
No, I'm not going to rule anything out. And obviously, we've already spoken out very forcefully about the sentencing of Mr. Navalny, including from the Secretary of State. My point was that there is a holistic review of our relationship with Russia that takes into account the full range of Russia's malign activity. President Biden has been very clear. Secretary of State Blinken have been very clear. We're not going to countenance the sorts of things that we've seen from the Russians in recent years, and that's exactly what this review is intended to do, to review those and to help inform an appropriate policy response.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.